Good morning, people in the south. Good day, my people in the east. And good afternoon, people in the west. And my friends in the northern hemisphere. Good evening. Welcome back. Today I want to talk about, today I'm taking us back, I'm taking us back to the ancient times. And I've got a few questions, I've got a few questions around our technologies, how we got to be where we are in terms of industrial revolutions, the scientists and physicists that we had all across the world, the people of God who used to have thoughts that changed the way things are done today, changed the world. Yeah, I would like to touch base on such dynamics and topics to establish our real problems. If you look at back in the 1617, maybe to an extent of 1800s, vehicles used to have wooden wheels. They used to make wheels by wood. They used to use wood, craft wood, to make wheels. And vehicles never had engines, internal combustion engines, or whatever kind of engines. So these vehicles were mostly pulled by horses. And that is one of the reasons why today's podcast performances are being measured on horsepower. The horse part came from the ancient times. So, somehow someone thought of a rubber that could be used to make a tire, which could replace the wood, because the wood was contributing to the resistance of the entire cart or entire car. So they couldn't get sufficient or optimal amount of power from the horse itself, due to the fact that the wooden wheels were sort of in state of assisting the horse to pull the car faster. They would actually resist the car from being fast through resistance or friction. So someone came up with a tire or a rubber that can make a tire that could make it easier for the car to roll faster and reduce the losses and the frictions. Now, if you look at the mysteries of the ancient pyramids in Giza, in Egypt, the pyramids of Giza were constructed, number one, by engineers, so to speak, but we don't know who constructed them. All right, they might know who exactly did the actual construction, but we don't know what method were used to construct the pyramids. So the structures that are currently existing in Giza, it's proof enough that there were scientists, there were innovators, there were mathematicians, there were physicists, there were in the past. That those structures, it's proof enough that such people existed in the ancient times. For example, we don't know what type of instrument they used to measure the level of the rock, because the rocks are actually the stones. In fact, the stones are which are used to build the pyramids are precisely cut, and they are aligned with precision, and for any engineer or architect to build something of that precision, you will need some kind of tech, So that is proof enough that there was engineers who used some kind of tech to measure, to cut, and to align the rocks such that they can give that shape that we see today in Giza, such that they can withstand the test of time. Those things are old, and no one knows how these things were constructed. So my question here is that my question is actually around the level of intellectualism that the current human beings have, towards disruptive innovation, towards the things that we can do, towards the power of thoughts, or as compared to the power of thoughts those people had and the power of thoughts we have. So my question is around there to say, were those ancient Africans smarter than us? Did we grow backwards in terms of thinking? Or was there maybe some kind of a creator who was communicating these thoughts and ideas to them at the time, whom does not exist now? Or, the first guy who designed and built the pyramid, apparently he built the step pyramid. One of the oldest pyramids are the step pyramids in Egypt and Ethiopia. So apparently, this guy was an Egyptian scientist and physicist. His name was Imhotep. His name was Imhotep. So Imhotep, I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name correctly. My apologies if I'm butchering his name. Maybe his descendants are still there in Egypt. Then they will somehow maybe be offended by how I butcher the name. Imhotep is the guy who designed the first pyramid and built it. So Imhotep was an engineer / teacher / advisor / physicist and all of those kind of things. Imhotep knew exactly what is needed to build a pyramid without the steps, the step pyramid. So the blueprint of the existing pyramids of Giza were taken from Imhotep. So are we saying people of Imhotep's caliber does not exist today? If they are, or if they do exist, why are we not building bigger things than the pyramids? Don't tell me about skyscrapers. Skyscrapers are not even as precise as the pyramids of Giza. You know, those things are mind blowing. You know, there's the likes of Newton. Newton invented the law of motions, the laws of motion, and he later invented calculus as well when he discovered the movement of the sun and the planets around the sun and all that. He invented calculus. Are we saying we don't have people of that caliber today? Are we saying people that get born today don't have the same thinking as those guys? The likes of Einstein. Albert Einstein is a German physicist, or was a German physicist. Actually, he was a theoretical physicist who is known for his theory of relativity. Are we saying we can't at least have one or two guys like those guys? I mean, in my thinking and analogy of things, there's still more things that we don't know. There's still more things that we have no idea why they exist. And those guys are gone, you know. They are no longer there. And we are left. We left stranded. We don't know what to do. We're still relying on those guys' ideas. We're not even sure if their theories are true or not, but they were proven, you know. What if there's something new out there? What if there's a new discovery that needs to be discovered that will override Newton's and the Einstein's theories? We had guys like Pythagoras. Pythagoras is well known for his Pythagoreanism. He invented Pythagoras theorem. I remember Pythagoras theorem from geometry in grade 11 and grade 12 mathematics. We did Pythagoras theorems. He invented Pythagoras theorems. We had guys like those, you know. The caliber of these guys honestly don't exist today. But the question is, are we saying these guys will never exist again? Or the same kind of breed as these guys will never exist again? That means we'll never discover new planets. We'll never discover in the way that they discovered them. Because now we're discovering these planets through the Hubble telescope, the James Webb telescope. You know, we're using that tech to discover these planets. These guys discovered the planets without those tags, you know. They were inquisitive to ask questions. They were much more worried about what is out there, what is happening outside of where we are, you know. Are we saying we can't have the same breed and generation of such? If we can't, then we are in trouble. But if we can, then let's innovate. Let's come up with ways, ladies and gentlemen. Let's come up with ways, new ways of doing things, you know. Let's find new ways of coming up with things that exist but in a different way. Like things that exist now, but we bring them in a way that they never existed before. Because most definitely we can't invent anything new. For the past, I don't know, 100 years or so, we never discovered or invented anything new. All we did was innovate, change, modify, innovate, you know. So I think we are being I'm looking for the right word to use. I don't want to say spoiled of the guys who came before us and laid down the foundation for us. I'm not saying we should go back and live in the olden days, in the ancient days. I'm saying we should ask ourselves such questions to say, are we saying there is no one from when Albert Einstein and Isaac Newton died, there was no one like them who could come up with something that we don't know? You know? Now we have seen how our industrial revolution has sort of evolved from the first to the fourth. Excuse me, because currently we are on the fourth. We have seen how we have evolved through the different types of evolutions. And for example, when the steam engines were first invented in the first industrial revolution, when the steam engines were invented or discovered, people never thought we might one day have an internal combustion engine or a hydrogen engine or an electric car. But today we have such. So can't we use this ancient history in the current situation to develop the future events or to develop the future economies? I'm not sure if someone gets me. We use the approach by the likes of Newton, the likes of Einstein, the likes of Pythagoras in the current situation, because we are in the fourth industrial revolution. So we use that approach to develop our future economies. If we can just get that right, I think we will start seeing the likes of Pythagoras coming into the show. Those guys are there, I believe, but they don't know that they are there. They don't know that they exist, because there's nothing that ignites them. There's nothing that sparks their thoughts, you know. First industrial revolution, they discovered the first steam engine. That's when we started to see factories having locomotives transporting goods from one point to the other, and so on and so forth. But those guys never thought we will have an electric train which will run as fast as 450 kilometers per hour, you know. Second industrial revolution, we had the era of electricity. The era of electricity which bred motors. And then we started to see factories being run by conveyor belts, you know. In the first industrial revolution, they never thought we're going to have electricity that will give us motors which will run conveyor belts in the factories. So we'll produce goods here, put them on the belt will transfer or transport them from one point to the other. Then we had the third industrial revolution, where we had an era of electronics, where microchips were introduced in the form of resistors, diodes, transistors. The electronics started to come into the show. And as electronics were coming into the show, we started to have control instruments, automation, you know. So these industrial revolutions are aligned in such a way that we need to use the previous blueprints to determine where we are, so that we can create the future events with the current situation. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. So, fourth industrial revolution, if you look at it, it's control instruments plus automation. And then we get artificial intelligence. So it's artificial intelligence is the fourth industrial revolution, which basically involves big data and automation. Machine learning, it's big data and automation. AI, it's big data and automation. That's all it is. So ask yourself a question around the next industrial revolution, which will be the fifth industrial revolution. We don't know what it is. Or maybe there's some emerging technologies that are coming through. I understand now AI is going to be replaced by something else, something that is bigger and smarter than AI. But we need to always anticipate the next industrial revolution with the mind and the thoughts of the current industrial revolution. Says that we are able to design and build solutions that we're going to use in the future economies. So let's use what the ancient guys used to work on the current situation, so that we can innovate for the future, you know. So that's what I've been battling with, to say, but why are we not having those guys anymore? What happened to them? I mean, you can't have Isaac Newton, who lived in the 1800s, 17 or 1800s, and then have Albert Einstein, who lived in the 1800s, and not have anyone in the 1900s and 2000s. Somebody is there, out there, and they don't know who they are, and they don't know what they're capable of doing, because there's nothing that sparks their thoughts, you know. So I think, help me out here through the comment section, and let's deliberate on this to work on how we should approach this disruptive innovation thing, and criticize me where possible, to say it's not possible anymore. We can't innovate anymore. We are stuck. There's nothing that's going to happen anymore, you know. But I believe that if there is a problem out there, whatever magnitude of a problem, and we don't have a solution to that problem, the problem keeps persisting, that is a sign of an avalanche of opportunities to innovate. The moment there is no solution to that particular problem, and the problem keeps persisting, the problem persists, means it's a sign of so many opportunities behind that problem. But if there is a problem, and there's multiple and thousands of people bringing in multiple solutions to that problem, there might be little amount of solutions left to innovate and implement for that particular solution, that particular problem. If there's none and the problem keeps existing and persisting, it's a high chance that there's so many solutions behind this problem. We just need to crack it somehow. So we need to find those guys, the guys who are in the caliber of the Einsteins, the caliber of the Pythagorases and stuff. We need to find them in the 2000s, in the year 2000s, you know. That's what I just wanted to get out of the way, so that we have a clear view of where we're going, you know. It looks like we are working in reverse. I sometimes ask myself if our thinking it's in backwards. Are we thinking backwards, or we can't be outshined by the guys who lived 8 million years ago? We can't, you know. We can't. Something must give. Something must happen somewhere. We can't be talking about a guy who lived in the ancient Egypt, ancient African economy in around 5,000 years ago, and be in a situation where we can't even produce something like this, you know? We can't. We need to find these guys. They're out there. We need to find them. They're out there. We don't know who they are. We don't know where they are, but they are there. Trust me, they are there. Nature would not allow. I trust nature. It would not allow for those guys not to exist. Speaking of this, remember I promised that I'm going to show you my cousin's work in terms of crochet. I made a promise from the episode, I think it's the previous episode, 2 more previous episodes back. The previous one before this one, and I mean the episode before this one, and 2 more previous episodes before episode 15. And I promised to share my cousin's work regarding crochet. So this is her work. This is what she does. This is the crochet I was talking about. So it looks neat. It looks very nice. You can order yourself one. She delivers everywhere across the globe. Wherever you are, she will deliver for you. If you want this in large amounts or in bulk, she can manufacture them for you and then deliver them for you, so you can start selling wherever you are across the world. Find her on TikTok. That's the only link that I remember. Find her on TikTok. Her name is, or her TikTok name is Dineos Crochet. DINEOS Crochet. Dineos Crochet. Or her TikTok handle is at DEE underscore, small letter D, small letter E, small letter, another small letter E, so it's DEE underscore underscore KAMCHUMU N for Nelly, NU8. So it's at D underscore Kam Chunu 8. So it's at D E underscore KAMCHUNU 8. Numeric number 8. That's where you'll find her. Then you can place your orders wherever you are. She will ship them for you or to you, and you'll get your different types of crochet. So I've got different colors that I wear, and she can actually design them with your own appetite and desire, you know. Yeah, she's very good. They are very nice, very comfortable, and you feel very much confident when you're wearing them. Yeah, that's why I keep mine on most of the time. And another thing that I've picked up that we trying to export as South Africans, it's the guy called Limpopo Boy. He's a dancer. He dances for a living. This guy is well known in the Asian countries, even North American countries. They know him. I think in Australia he's been there as well. Most of you knows him. You can also check him out. I think on social media platforms is Limpopo Boy, LIMPOPO Boy, BOY. He's a very good dancer. He has innovated the way we dance in Africa. He just took the entire normal dancing that you know, and he's just doing it differently, you know. He's just adding that tweak to the dance. And this is a perfect example for the guys that I was talking about, to be in the caliber of the Pythagorases and Newtons and stuff like that. But this one, he's in the entertainment space. So we can't be comparing him with physicists and guys like those. I'm just giving an example with this guy because he has done a great job in terms of taking the South African flavor of dance to the world, you know. It's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. I'm also plugging on my cousin, Dineo's Crochet. Check out the work that she does as well. And let's find those guys. We'll find them. We'll eventually find our own Pythagorases to innovate and build credible businesses, build or come up with ideas that are going to change the world, like my cousin does, like Limpopo Boy does. They are actually changing the narrative. They are changing the way things have been done. And I know there's a whole lot of other ladies or women out there who are doing these things. I'm putting on the one that I know. If you also want to advertise or send me yours, you can put your details on my on the comment section. Then I'll talk about it. So, lastly, before I go, there's a support site called VC4A, V for Violet, C for Charlie, numeric 4, and A for Adam. So it's VC4A. If you go to vc4a.com, you will find a number of support programs for businesses and ideas. So currently I went through vc4a.com because I go through the sites every week. So I found about 3 or 4. Actually, there's more than 4. There's actually plenty, but I found about 3 or 4 that it calls for young people. The first one, it's youth ecopreneur program. Youth ecopreneur program. Youth ecopreneur program. It's open for all countries across the world. If you have an idea and you are young people, remember, it's anything from 18 years to 35 years, and you have an idea that has a lot to do with green tech, green energy, etc., you can go to vc4a.com and apply for this specific program, Youth Ecopreneur Program. It's available. I think it's going to close in the next 30 days. Apply for that support program, and they will support your idea through until you see success of such. The other one that I saw is an innovation challenge called Eastern Cape Innovation Challenge. Eastern Cape Innovation Challenge. Eastern Cape is one of the provinces one of the 9 provinces in South Africa. So it's open for people or entrepreneurs and tech businesses that are based in the Eastern Cape province. It's called Eastern Cape Innovation Challenge. It also requires any idea where you think your idea is going to change the face of the economy in the Eastern Cape. You think it's going to change the lives of people that lives in Eastern Cape, and you're going to create jobs with your idea. Apply for that Eastern Cape Innovation Challenge, and there's money that they're offering in terms of funding to grow your ideas as well. So share this information for those that you know that they've got ideas but they don't know where to go. The information is available on vc4a.com. And the next one that I saw as well, it's Young Environmentalist Innovation Challenge. Young Environmentalist Innovation Challenge is open for entrepreneurs in Kenya, only in Kenya. I know there's people that watches the videos on my channel from Kenya, so it's open for young people who are in the environmental space and they've got ideas as well. It's green energy, green tech. You are eligible to apply, and they will offer funding as well as non monetary support in that program. It's available on VC4A, and go to vc4a.com and apply. And lastly, there's one that is open to South African businesses. It's called Netbank Renew. It's also available on vc4a.com. Netbank Renew, it requires businesses that are already on post-revenue stage. So post-revenue stage, it means you are already making money. You are already making money with your idea, but your idea should be around clean tech, waste management, and pollution, around around that sector. Like I said in one of my previous episodes that this is the sector where we are sleeping on and we're not innovating. So Nedbank is offering money now for those who have built businesses around that space, the waste management space, pollution and stuff like that, clean tech innovations. They're offering money, I think up to 1 million rand. But your business must be on post-revenue stage. If you are not yet on revenue stage, you are not eligible, so don't bother to apply. They won't shortlist you. That's all I had for you for today. I think I'll see you again next week. And then, before I go, there will be a pop-up here for those who haven't subscribed. Click on that pop-up. It's the face of this channel. After clicking on that pop-up, you will have a subscribe option, and then you click on subscribe. Then you subscribe to this channel. And I'll see you again next week. And thank you again for being part of this journey. And let's build this nation together across the globe. I'll see you next week. Next week.